Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to show how to properly prepare a Blender project file to be rendered on our render farm. First, we'll go through a standard animation project without simulations, and then we'll look at a demo project that includes different types of simulations. By following this tutorial, you'll learn how to manage assets, bake simulations, and set up file paths correctly so you can avoid missing files or broken textures. And you'll be able to submit your projects to BoltRenders flawlessly, every time. Let's get started. Let's begin by opening our Blender project. If your scene uses any linked assets, objects, or libraries pulled in from other .blend files, we need to make them local. Go to Object, Relations, Make Local, All. Then check the outliner to make sure no objects still show the linked icon. This step ensures that all scene objects are stored directly in your project file. Now, the simplest option, if you are confident that all assets are already in your project folder, is just to zip up the entire project folder and submit it. This will usually work fine. However, a much better practice, and what we always recommend, is to pack your assets directly into the .blend file. Go to File, External Data, then click on Pack Resources. After that, repeat the same step and click on Pack Linked Libraries. This pulls in textures, HDRIs, images, and many other file types, so the .blend becomes largely self-contained. Packed files generally load faster on render farms and give you more consistent performance, which is why this is considered the professional way to prepare a project.
That said, it's important to note that not every type of file can be packed. For example, movie clips, simulation caches, and some font files cannot be embedded into the .blend. In these cases, even after packing, you should still make a zip file that includes your project folder along with those external assets. Just make sure paths are set to relative, so Blender knows where to find them. A quick way to do this is by going to File, External Data, Make All Paths Relative. After that, save your project. Or, even better, save a copy. This way, you keep your original working file untouched, while having a version optimized for the render farm. Once everything looks good, you can upload the packed file, or, if needed, the zipped version. Let's move on to projects that include simulations. These require a few extra steps, because simulations depend on cache data that must be baked before rendering. Here's a demo project with some of the most common simulation types. Let's start with the fluid simulation. Select the fluid domain object. In the Physics tab, open the cache panel and create a cache folder. For example, call it Cache. Use a relative path, which you can set with a double slash, meaning the cache folder will be stored in the same location as your project file. A quick way to make sure all paths are relative, including the cache folder, is by going to File, External Data, Make All Paths Relative. To bake the fluid simulation, set the cache type to All, and click on Bake All. When the bake finishes, save the blend file. Since fluid caches are always external, be sure to include the cache folder along with your blend file by zipping both together before uploading to BoltRenders. Next, let's set up the cloth simulation. Select your cloth object. In the Physics tab, go to Cache and create a point cache with a clear name. Make sure the frame range covers your full animation, then click Bake All Dynamics. When it finishes, save your blend file. The cloth cache will be embedded inside the file when saved. For rigid body simulations, go to Scene Properties and find the Rigid Body World panel. Check that the start and end frames match your animation. Then click Bake All Dynamics. If you want, you can bake the rigid body simulation directly to the object's keyframes. This converts the physics animation into normal keyframe animation, so the objects move exactly the same, but behave like standard keyframed objects. Once done, save your file. Once all your simulations are baked and saved, do a final check to make sure everything is ready. Make sure all file paths are relative, and if you have any external cache folders, such as fluid caches, include them in a zip archive alongside your project file, keeping the correct relative structure. With that done, your project is fully prepared and ready to upload to the render farm. Once your project file is fully prepared and packaged, log into your BoltRenders dashboard and hit the plus render button. Drag and drop your .blend file, or the .zip with all assets and caches if needed. BoltRenders will immediately start evaluating your project. It checks file integrity, runs quick tests,
and estimates how long your render will take and how much GPU power it needs. When it's done, you'll get your quote with cost, estimated render time, and preview frames, so you can see everything before launching the render and blasting out our GPUs. Thank you for watching. If you follow these steps, preparing your project, baking simulations, packing assets, and submitting properly, your renders will run smoothly on BoltRenders. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you want us to cover other specific topics. See you next time!